Welcome back, fellow Blue Noses, to the Free Blue Boys podcast. Thank you to our viewers and listeners for joining us again. Of course, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, like if you enjoyed today's video, and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a new upload. While you're at it, why not drop us a follow on our social media platforms, links to which are on the screen for you now and down in the description below. And just full discretion for our viewers and listeners, this is a preview for this Sunday's fourth round FA Cup tie against Leeds United at home at St Andrews United Park. So this is prior to tomorrow night's fixture against West Bromwich Albion at home, hence why we won't be talking about this game in this podcast episode. Gentlemen, how are we feeling this evening?
Yep, we're all the Three Blue Boys time travellers once again. Just doing the video before the game tomorrow night, obviously, as you say, down against West Brom. So for all the viewers and listeners watching this at the minute, Blues have done what Blues do. Albion have beat us at home. The manager's got to go. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're headed for League One and Carson Young's back. So just for full discretion there. But no, obviously, hopefully we've done the business there by the time we watch this back as well. But as you say, Dan, this preview talking about Leeds United, and we were very happy, and I think we all said about 50 million times, we'll take that, didn't we, on the reaction video to it.
Yeah, I think we did.
Thank you very much for you guys for pointing that out as well. We did say it a lot. It got a bit annoying even when
we
we watched
didn't
it.
In the end, actually, when you watched it back, actually. But I'm still happy with it now.
Yeah, but it's a good draw, wasn't it? We probably wanted someone at home. I mean, away day, big one at like Tottenham or Arsenal or somewhere like that. But the fact that we got a Premier League club at home, and might I add as well, a team that is in the lower half at the least, where on paper you've got more of a chance. You know what I mean? If you draw Villa or someone like that, you think, well, we're going to get cooked. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for. It's basically repeat of last season, isn't it? When we got into the fourth round against Newcastle at home. So it's kind of what you get into that competition for, really. Anybody at any level, unless you're at the top of the Prem, you're kind of always playing somebody who's above you, So it's an enticing draw, isn't it? Premier League opposition, recently in the Championship, but nonetheless very competitive team at that level. What was it, 90-odd, 100 points last season, was it they got?
Yeah, significant amount of points last season.
Yeah, they didn't get 111 though, did
I was
they?
going to say, I was just going to bring that up.
Nobody does that.
It's very much a fixture I'm looking forward to. I mean, there's a big history down the years, obviously, with Leeds, lots of kind of good fixtures. One or two kind of fixtures where we'd rather not remember, really. When the scoreline was bad, or in 1995 it was a lot worse than that as well.
Yeah. My recollection is Wes Harding bumbling into our own net. And that was just one of those games where I'm sure you guys remember as well. It was only a few seasons ago. It was like back and forth, thinking, oh, great for a neutral. Hopefully you can win. We enjoy it even more then. No, as soon as they scored, fuck that, turned it off.
Yeah.
Wasn't enjoyable.
No, it was... they were... I mean, we were really poor then. Well, when weren't we, I suppose, in the last 10 years before United came in. It's got a long history. They're obviously a club with a big history, particularly during the 60s and the 70s.
Definitely.
I think your knowledge of that comes from the Brian Clough film, The Damn United.
It does, definitely.
About kind of Leeds under Revy and how they achieved everything that they achieved during that period, and even played in the Champions League, or what is now the Champions League. So they are a team with a lot of history. They've been in the doldrums for quite a long time now, compared to what they have done. They won the very last version of Division 1 before the Premier League came into being in 1991. That was the last time that they won the title at the top level. But they're back there now, and they're making a decent go of it, aren't they?
Yeah, big time, And, as you say, big history there, Dad. And we were talking, weren't we, just off camera about their relative position at the minute. I wouldn't say they're scrapping for survival, but they're definitely in the mix, aren't they?
They are. They're definitely in the mix. They've started to climb out of it a little bit now, and they've started to find some form now. I think they've picked up 8 in the last 18 now, and I think they've got 3 on the bounce now and a win as well.
I think they're a win-loss at the minute in the last 4, something like that. But they've been more consistent than they have been for most of the season. Also, we'll touch on their players in a minute, but like I say, they're in the mix at the least. I mean,
they are.
I wouldn't expect really, actually, that they're going to be one of the 3. One is already done. We'll see you next season, Dingles. But 2 spots left. I don't foresee that they'll take the spot, but you never know.
I wouldn't think they would either. I think they're maybe a little bit too strong for that. They've got a little bit too much experience, a little bit too much quality in parts as well, I think, to be pulled into that. But there's always a risk that they could be. But like I said, they've started to find their form recently as well, just at the time that we come to play them. It's absolute sod's law, isn't it? But it's the FA Cup. Anything can happen. We've seen, teams much in the lower tiers take on Premier League opposition and beat them, and Championship opposition.
Yeah, the holders were knocked out by
exactly
whoever it was. Was it Macclesfield or something like
that? Yeah, it was, absolutely. Yeah. So anything can happen on the day. day, and I think that's what stems the belief in the FA Cup, doesn't it? I mean, they defeated Championship opposition after going a goal down against Derby County in the last round, so we have to be respectful of the opposition and be aware of the threat that they carry, and obviously the key threat is obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin, an England standard striker when he's fit, which obviously he's struggled with injuries over the last few seasons as well, but he's particularly seemed to have come good at Leeds. He's very much a target man. He's a big aerial threat as well, and I think that plays to a lot of strengths of the Leeds team as
10 goals this season.
Well, yeah, absolutely, 10 goals, and he's starting to prove his worth lately as well. I think as well, like it was Carl Dowlow in goal as well, has got over 200 appearances, mostly in the top 2 tiers of English football as well. I think he played for, was it Newcastle United previously as well? I think he was. So he's got a good pedigree behind him as well. He's commanding in his area as well, gets on well with organising his defence as well. They're a good unit, and you could arguably make the case that they really shouldn't be where they are in that division, as competitive as it is, but maybe they're starting to prove that that is the case lately. But excited for the fixture in any case anyway, well up for it in the 4th round, and fingers crossed we'll get through to the next round.
Well, this is the thing, innit? The only thing that was really shitty about it is they've decided to put us on the Sunday morning at fucking midday.
It's an awful time.
You can probably hear the groans from here, like with all the Blues fans thinking, fucking hell. Like,
why couldn't it just be a Saturday 3 o'clock?
Well, to be honest with you, I would have loved a night game, because I remember what it was like last season when we played Newcastle. And
True.
When it under the lights, I love a night game personally. Obviously, we got one tomorrow night against the Albion.
Indeed, we have.
Of course, they put fucking all Premier League tie Villa Newcastle on the Saturday night. Which why couldn't have they? We see that every week. Just put us on there, or Barnum versus whoever. I don't think that's the name of a team, but you know what I mean. They got me out there somewhere.
Just off random names.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but yeah, like I say, that's the only downside to it is it's going to be broad daylight at 12 o'clock on a Sunday. But as you say, Dan, it's going to be an exciting fixture, and I'm assuming it's going to be a sellout. I'm pretty sure it's not at this point. It might be by the time you guys watch this. You mentioned there, Dan. They've got quality players in there, and realistically, you wouldn't really expect them to be where they are at the minute. And the way they like to play, and it's interesting in the Premier League, they're more direct, they play long balls, they're dangerous in the box with crosses. Although, a lot of teams in the Premier League like to play, the tick-attacker or whatever. But there's teams in there that, like to play more direct. I mean, Arsenal, arguably, could potentially, finally win the Premier League this season. They mix it up a lot. I'm not necessarily comparing the two. But it'll be interesting because when they come to Blues, FA Cup game, obviously playing against Championship opposition, is there an argument that they'll actually want to dominate the ball and play a slightly different style? Dare I say they're capable of it. Obviously got Dan James in there as well, and he's been a threat to every single time he's played us, even when he was at Leeds and they're in the Championship. I expect that Chris Davies will want to keep possession, control the match as much as we can. I expect him to go strong. Obviously, I'm sure we'll get to line up shortly. But I think it'll be an exciting fixture, and I just hope it delivers in the way that Newcastle did last season, except we go through to the 5th round.
Yeah, I think our biggest threat, from what I can gather, because their system seems to be based around a 3-man central defensive setup, is they seem to struggle with kind of deliveries from wide areas and skillful players running at them with that kind of pace. Now, it just so happens that what we've done in the transfer window has strengthened us in that area, particularly with 2 direct wingers, one on either side. So we're very capable of exploiting that, and if that's a weakness of theirs, then we should be looking to absolutely go for the, go for the kill on that one. I think you're right. I think they will adapt how they play. They've got better quality players in certain areas of the team than we've got.
Probably
a lot of experience, not just at Premier League level, but also at top end of Championship level as well. People like Ethan Ampadu, he's played there a long time. He's got a good reputation. He's a Welsh international. And there's smatterings of that all around the team, really. With Stack and people like that. I think we've got an opportunity because of the way that they play. Whether they adapt their style or not will remain to be seen, and they might just decide, we've played this way all season, we'll play to our strengths. It seems to be working for us at the moment. Where the Calvert-Lewin starts or not, I don't know, because of his injury prone. They might try and protect him, wrap him up in cotton wool a little bit for the Premier League campaign, because they're not out of danger yet.
No, not at all. No.
But yeah, I see us, having opportunities here.
I do.
And when we get into the scorelines later, I think my personal view of that will reflect it.
Yeah. As you say, I think it will be. We can hurt them in those areas, and it's kind of ironic. We've recruited, for almost like it's happened for this game. As you say, the wide areas. That's typically how we play anyway. We like to get it out wide, get out full-backs, crosses into the box, pull-backs, long-range shots, all the rest of it. I think it'd be a real challenge for them. Obviously, if it's at Leeds, it's probably going to be much more difficult for us. I was going to say the recent away form, but obviously we've been playing better away recently. But because it's at Blues, we know what the atmosphere is going to be like, even though it's a Sunday morning. Everyone still be hanging from the night before. But yeah, those are the areas we can hurt them, and I think it'll be exciting nonetheless. And listen, if we get into the 5th round, going back to draw somebody like Blackburn again.
Absolutely, it'll be Blackburn.
Even if they're not in it, we still draw them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they'll put Blackburn back into the draw, even though they've been knocked out just for us to play.
They will, yeah.
They just know that's the way it's going to be. And everybody else will be matched up with a Premier League team with a Premier League team. That's just the way it's going to go.
Us, Blackburn, Villa, and I don't know, Arsenal in the last, and goes, and Birmingham City, Blackburn. Great, of course. Thanks. Could have gone any of those teams away, and now we get Blackburn again.
You don't even need Mystic Andy for that one. It's just a certainty. Death and taxes, and us playing Blackburn in the FA Cup. That's absolutely the way it's going to be. If you'd like to sponsor the Free Blue Boys podcast, you can get in touch via our social media platform or via our email address. Thanks very much. Now back to the podcast. But like you say, Dad, I think you're right in as much as it kind of suits us, their weaknesses, in as much as we've almost tailored it to our recruitment programme in the winter transfer window. We've got 2 very direct wingers in the wide men, obviously, in Ibrahim Osman and Carlos Vicente as well. Impressed by them in the past Saturday against Leicester City as well. And I think they'll offer a threat in the wide areas, get balls into the box, but then it's the flip side of that. How much is that going to be a threat once you get balls into the box? You've got to make sure the bodies are in there. If you're going to be putting the ball in low, people like Stansfield and Dutch have got to be sticking their leg out and taking the opportunity, as it were. I don't see them having much of an aerial threat, particularly Leeds being a dominant aerial team like they are, both in the defence and attacking as well. So I think both teams very much, Dad, like you say, are going to play to their strengths. And you're going to bet that Leeds are. But like you say, there's a question over Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Do they wrap him in cotton wool and protect him and not play him and keep him on the bench and only bring him out if they really need to? Because, like you say, they're not out of danger at all yet in the Premier League, and that's going to be their main focus, really. But I see Blues putting out, obviously, taking into account any potential injuries or suspensions might come off the back of tomorrow night's game against West Bromwich Albion. Obviously, we don't know anything yet in that respect, but I expect Chris Davies to put out a strong team, essentially what would be our first team.
I think so.
And I don't think we could really expect anything less. I think we've got to give it a go. This is the competition that you do it in. So I'd very much expect the starting 11 to be what we've come to know it as recently. I think you're probably going to be starting with Beadle in goal. I think you're going to see Owatu at right back. Neumann, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with him yet, because obviously we don't know if he's going to be fit going into West Bromwich Albion, because he went off with a knock against Leicester City. So, but if he does start, it's going to be assuming it'll be him and Clara at the centre back. Left back is obviously going to be Wagner. Again, I think he's going to go with Paik and Solis in the middle. I don't think he's going to bring either of them out to drop Doyle in. I think Doyle will probably be starting on the bench again. Your wide men, like you say, Dad, are probably going to be Carlos Vicente. I don't see Roberts coming back into that, just because, like you say, Vicente offers a more direct threat from the wide areas. And on the left, you're going to have Ibrahim Osman, and then 10, you're going to see Dutch in there, and also Stano up top in the 9. But obviously, they switch over and they rotate. Seems to be that Dutch at the moment and Stano are on a better wavelength now. Great to see Stano obviously get his goal at the weekend. It was quite an emotional thing for him, actually, if you saw on the replay as well. So I think that's probably the lineup we're going to go with. Would you both agree?
Yeah, it's difficult to say exactly, obviously, at this point, as you say, because we're playing Albion tomorrow night, so that obviously could chop and change. But I do expect that he will go strong, and the strongest that we can go, all by injuries and suspensions. I think it'll be interesting to see whether, Jonathan Panzo might slot in at centre half, just because we're trying to recruit like for like, and I think that is on the basis that he'll drop in there because he's left centre back, isn't he? Is where he'll go. And then it'll be interesting to see whether he does go with Vicente to go a bit more direct, whether he'll have Patrick Roberts in there so he can cut inside and play the through balls that he's obviously very good at when he runs across the line and finds it through the middle. And then the other thing to throw into the mix is that Damari Gray is expected back very soon. I don't expect that he'll start that game if he is back in the squad for then. I think it will still be Ibrahim Osman, but expecting Damari Gray back for that one. And listen, he couldn't be coming back to a bigger game, could he really?
No, and I mean, he's got plenty of experience at that level, hasn't he, as well, so it won't overrule him or anything. I could see Panzo maybe playing in that game, because at some point you've got to get the bloke on the pitch, haven't you? There's no point in bringing somebody in who's got left foot and speed and is kind of fairly physical, and then not use them. Okay, if you make some mistake in the game, then that's okay because it doesn't cost us any points.
Yeah.
It knocks us out the FA Cup potentially, but at least we kind of keep our momentum going as far as the league is concerned. But I do believe that bloke has got to have some pitch time at some point fairly soon. Otherwise, he gets just more and more rusty, doesn't he? I mean, Boz is another one. Whether he plays tomorrow against Albion or not, against Leeds, I could see he's chomping at the bit at the moment for me.
Yeah, from his post-match.
You could see that from Leicester, couldn't you? Yeah, that he wants to get on there. He wants to kind of continue the momentum that he had from AFCON.
Yeah.
So he could be another one on there, really ready to prove a point. So yeah, there's maybe some players just on the outskirts who seem to be on the subs bench quite a bit at the minute.
Yeah.
He may just get a chance in there. It might be time just to kind of get him in a big atmosphere.
Yeah.
Get him practiced. Get him kind of match fit if that's the case with Panzo and maybe to a degree with Boz, and see what happens.
Yeah.
We're the ones who aren't expected to win.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
Pressure's on them,
exactly it.
And I broadly agree that there'll be a strong team. Exactly what the configuration will be of that, I don't know. But I think it'll be competitive. I think we'll be ready for it.
I think we will be.
And on that count, my prediction is I think we'll narrowly lose the game, but I think
we're about to get a mystic prediction here.
You can, could do. Yeah, the music goes a bit weird now, doesn't it?
The air in the room has changed.
It has, yeah. And our producer has to get ready with the dub. If I get it wrong, he just dubs it in to make it look as though I'm
That's
right.
It,
really,
very convincing.
Absolutely, yeah. So, but I think we'll lose 3-2. It'll be narrow, but I think they'll just have a bit too much for us.
So the same as Newcastle in the fourth round.
Yeah, exactly.
Season,
Okay.
Yeah. Dan, do you reckon?
I'm going to go with Dad's prediction, but I'm going to go a slightly different scoreline. I think it will be a narrow defeat for us. I think maybe their quality might just see it over the line for them, and they've got potentially quality players to bring off the bench as well. If they decide to rest Dominic Calvert-Lewin from the starting 11, I think they might just edge it. I think it's going to be 2-1 Leeds.
Okay. I'm going to go a little bit similar to Dad, more or less, 4-2 Leeds. I think it will be a hectic game. I think naturally being at St Andrews in the way that it is there, and because I'm thinking about how it was last season against Newcastle, I think it'll be a bit frantic, but I expect that they've got more quality in us in pretty much every area of the pitch, more strength off the bench. I think they'll do the business, and we'll get knocked out, and we'll have a consolation game against, you guessed it, Blackburn Rovers.
I just want to see us have a good go. I think that's all. The same as Newcastle. I just want to see us not be afraid, take the game to them, and if we come out on the wrong end of the 1 or 2 goal scoreline difference, then so be it. We've done as best we can do, and we get back to the bread and butter then, and they get back to theirs, albeit they've got a 5th round tie if they do beat us. But it's some nice respite from the league. It's a big crowd, it's a shit kick-off time, but nonetheless I think the atmosphere will be electric.
Yep, and we'll be nice and pissed by 10 o'clock, won't we?
Probably.
It'll be fantastic. Yeah.
It's like shades of being in Spain in the 80s, really. Reminds me a bit of that. Yeah. Except for I was pissed all the time there, really. Yeah.
Was that cornflakes and Carling?
Yeah, some guys from Scotland like to pour lager onto their cornflakes. That was their breakfast every day.
You're going to be having that on Sunday? Or?
No. Maybe I'll put it onto something else. I don't know.
Maybe the week after.
Maybe it could be. Okay.
Anyway,
we digress.
Yeah.
How's it going, fellow Blues fans? Hope you're enjoying the channel so far and liking today's video. I wanted to take a minute of your time to talk about our sponsor, Bangla Lounge Indian Cuisine. For these 3 Blue Boys, Bangla Lounge has been the go-to choice to enjoy the very finest in Indian cuisine for over a decade now. Made with the freshest ingredients using authentic recipes, Bangla Lounge produces some of the best Indian cuisine that I've ever tasted. And if you enjoy takeaway at the end of the week, orders for collection and delivery with 15% discount, ordering direct through the website. If you enjoy a sit-down meal, you can enjoy this for a 2-for-1 offer, running from Sunday to Thursday every week on main courses. Or if you're celebrating a special occasion, such as a birthday, Bangla Lounge offers a buffet restaurant every Sunday, running from 5:30pm to 10pm. So if you like a tasty curry or a sizzling tandoori, get yourself down to Bangla Lounge Hell's Owen. Links in the description below of our video. And if you like to fine dine after a win in the B9. Thanks very much. Now back to the podcast.
So obviously returning to league action after the game against Leeds in the 4th round. Hopefully that goes well. And obviously, as you know, we've been playing teams as of late. You could really say that we expect to beat, but are in and around where we are or below us, and we have been really picking up points. But 3 games following that, 2 away games, 1 at home against Middlesbrough, and 2 away, being Millwall,
Norwich,
thank you. So big games where really, as an overview, I would say it's a bit of a crucial period and the decider as to whether we really mean business and are going to do the exact same to push for the playoffs, or at least put our name in there. Obviously, at this time of recording, we're only 2 points off. We've got to be picking up points if we mean business, but they're very tough games because all of them are in the top 6 in terms of the form in the last 6 games.
They are, absolutely. I mean, respectively, Middlesbrough placed first, and then Millwall fourth, and then Norwich sixth. Yeah. Norwich have really come good as of late. They've had some really good results lately, gelling really well as a team, creating some really good opportunities, scoring some really good goals, and defeating some really good teams. Middlesbrough are really up there now, and when you consider there was a 10-point gap between them and Coventry not so long ago, around about November time, and now they've closed it to equal points now with Coventry with a game in hand. Yeah. They have the potential. They're playing tonight, recording this on the Monday. I believe they're playing Sheffield United tonight. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was home or away. Is that after Sheffield United, or is that the other side? At Sheffield United. Yeah. You'd still expect them to pick up the 3 points there, with no disrespect to Sheffield United, but they are going to be challenging games, and they're going to be kind of the make or break of our season and any contention that we might have for the top 6 in the playoffs. Because really, it was only not so long ago that we were talking that we might not even see a top half finish, and we might only just be mid-table cannon fodder. Yeah. So these are critical games that we're coming into now, and obviously only one of them is at home. Yeah, which doesn't bode very well for us, even though we've started to come good a little bit with our away form now. But I think, despite the performances, and there were good performances at that, Sheffield Wednesday and Oxford United, you've got to take it in the context of the opposition you're playing against, and the way they're playing, the way their form's been, against what are amongst the top 6 best teams in the division for form, and the way that they have been playing lately, and they've always been there or thereabouts. You take Norwich away from it, Millwall, Middlesbrough have always been there or thereabouts in the automatic and the playoff promotion spots. Norwich admittedly have joined the party a little bit late this season, but they're still very much there, and they've kept up their form better than we have lately. So they're all going to be interesting fixtures, and they're going to be a real test of the new signings, not only Davis's approach to those games and the way the team prepare for them going into them as well. Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where you play who's in front of you, and as you say, you mentioned Oxford and Sheffield Wednesday there, Dan. You're probably expected to beat both, and we did. But having said that, we played Swansea away before those two. We got a pretty hard-earned point against, I mean, they won on the weekend, obviously recording this on the Monday, and they're flying at the minute. Rapotnik's got 15 goals this season. Yeah. So, we got a really hard-earned point there, and we take confidence from that. And listen, it's what we've been saying at the minute, with the merch. We'll put momentum on that hoodie soon enough.
Be our new merch line, that will.
That's it, yeah. But that's what it is, isn't it? It's that word, and that's what we have to continue to do away from home. Obviously against 2 teams that are obviously in very good form at the minute. But there's no reason why not. And I think that was part of the reason why, listen, Knighthead have got the ambitions of their own. And that's why they've brought in the recruitment that they have, because they've still got it on their mind to push this season for the Premier League. I think, automatic spots obviously been gone now for the last, 12, 15 games, didn't they? But a push for the playoffs is on. Will we do it? That's the big question, and I think that question lies in those 3 games.
Yeah, in my head, it's the sternest test of our credentials now, quality, since we've been on this good run. Yeah. So since we've gone past the Watford away game, we've been in good form, got good results, and we're now getting into that bit that says, okay, let's see what you're really made of. It's like a mini tournament, right? It's a 3-game tournament, really, isn't it? And if you're thinking that you're going to get anywhere, you've got to be looking at a minimum of 6 out of 9 points there. Yeah. I think if you're going to be there or thereabouts, you've got to show that you can take 3 points at difficult places or against difficult opponents at home. We are very good there. We've only lost once at home this season, touching wood, and that if we're going to continue that, then you're going to have the sternest test possible against the team who may well go on and win the division in Middlesbrough.
Absolutely.
So, it's going to be difficult for us, and this is the crunch time now. And I know you can kind of, segment the season into lots of different kind of small amounts of games and say, that was important or that was important. But we've got a shot now, which we didn't think we were going to have.
It's how quickly this league can change. I was just thinking it went down. We're saying, it wasn't that long ago. We were all saying, obviously people questioning the manager. And obviously January happens, we make a big recruitment, you win X amount of games, and then you're back in the mix again, aren't you? So it changes that quickly, doesn't it? So
I think it's as well that those games may take on even more significance if tomorrow night we don't beat Albion, we get a draw or we lose the game. Yeah. it puts more pressure back on again, doesn't it? You know,
absolutely.
To get in the playoffs, you've got to be close to, if not more than, 70 points. Now, last season was probably a bit of an outlier with 68.
Yeah, it was.
So I think you've got to be thinking 70 or more. That's a lot of points to gather.
It is.
What's 35 to play for, something like that?
45 in all. It's 15 games left, isn't it? 3 points to go.
Yeah,
so
a lot of
45.
points.
But, you know, we've got to be looking at getting 30 out of those 45.
I mean, that's automatic form and automatic promotion form.
It is.
Which on paper, it sounds really difficult, doesn't it, for us to go and do it, and we have to go on a hell of a run to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not being negative Nancy about it, but that's why I don't think we're going to do it, because those 3 games are really tough. Obviously, we've collected points where we needed to in the last 5 or 6 games. I'd love us to do it, but at the end of the day, I think I'd speak for all of us and say our expectations aren't really playoffs this season.
I'd agree.
All our prediction, I think you went for 6, didn't you, Dan? But even that, you know, it was probably the highest that we probably thought we were going to finish, if anything. But I think big push obviously will be for next season if we don't do it this season.
I think it's got to be. And we've got to remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
We've got 5 years before the new Powerhouse Stadium is built. We've got time to build the infrastructure, the team, and progress up into the Premier League. We've got the time to do it. Yes, you've got the ambition of Knighthand, Todd Wagner, Tom Brady, everybody who's behind them, but this is a slow process. We've got to trust in the process, and that's been difficult at times under Chris Davis. And who knows, maybe he's not the man to take us into the Premier League, but we've got to give it a go. We've got to give it a go. I don't think that, as you say, Joe, it'll be this season, and arguably I think maybe that's for the better. Maybe another summer, another season in the Championship to really build momentum, as it were, really sort of establish ourselves again in this division, because people need to remember, and it's easy to forget, we've just come back out of League One.
Yeah.
There's very few sides that ever do back-to-back promotions.
Yeah,
the percentage of that is extremely low for teams who are successful in that respect, as it were. I mean, respect to Wrexham about where they are at the moment, but even that is potentially unlikely, because they're still right on the cusp of staying in the playoffs, whether they're going to be in it or not.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bet against them, because it's a bit storybook and it one after the other. This would be their 4th one in a row, I think.
So, it would be, 4 successive promotion, which is really unheard of, isn't it? It literally never happens. It's things of myth and fantasy, isn't it? But we've got to give it a go regardless. I'd like to think we could do it, but I'd still be happy with a top half finish, even if it's outside of the playoffs, as it were. And even if we do finish in the playoffs, give it a good go. If we don't, okay, we go back in the summer and we reset. We get a good summer transfer window out of the way. We will bring some new additions in, and we build on what we've got, and we go again. And with the ambition of Knighthead behind us as well.
Just a quick fire on the results in terms of those 3 games. How many points do you think we're getting from those 3? Or even just results for each one?
I think I could probably see us getting 4 or 5 points out of those. I think we'll win 1, draw 1, lose 1.
So we've got Norwich first away, and then it's Millwall away, and then Middlesbrough.
I'm not going to get into specifics, but I think I think it's probably likely to be that for me anyway. Anything more than 5, and I think that is great. That's a good return.
Yeah, I think if we can go Norwich and get a point, that's a good point earned considering their form. I think Millwall's the exact same. And for Middlesbrough, as good as they've been at the minute, there's no reason why we can't beat them. Because we can take anyone at home in
Being
this
at
league.
home as well, like you say, Joe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
I'd probably second as well. I'd say 4 points out of that. But I actually think we'll win 1 and we'll draw the other 2.
Okay.
I think we'll turn in some solid performances away from home like we have been. And like you say, where we did as away from Swansea, where we're, like you say, Vrotnik scoring goals for fun, 15 this season, as it were. So it's the opportunity to take points now and take stock and really sort of make that push, as it were, and turn in some solid performances. And who knows what can happen.
Well, hello, future Russes. We've just lost all 3 of those games, and
got absolutely slapped.
We didn't make the playoffs, and we're back to the drawing board. So
back to mid-table cannon fodder now. So absolutely great.
And we'll record an alternative version of that if we do win all 3 of them.
Can't wait to get our seat to Wembley. It's going to be great. Yeah, so it's a crucial period, but hopefully good comes of it, and we can make a late push for the playoffs.
Yep.
Hopefully, and we pay close attention now to other teams and their results as well. I mean, obviously, Chris Davis said he doesn't look at the table and the results. I think to a degree, not maybe at least him, but certainly the players do maybe, and certainly the fans as we do, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But as always, gentlemen, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for joining me again.
Thank you very much, sir.
And Blue Noses, let us know in the comment section what your score prediction for is this 4th round FA Cup draw this Sunday against Leeds United. Kick off at 12 o'clock at St Andrews at Knighthead Park, and what you think the starting 11 might be going into it as well, and potentially what we might see from Leeds United as well. Let us know what you think of the free fixtures following that in the league. Of course, 2 away fixtures at Millwall, at Norwich City, and of course a home game on a Monday night, I believe it is, against Middlesbrough. Are we going to come out with maximum points there, or nothing, or maybe some? As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a new upload. Please also follow us on our social media platforms, links to which on the screen for now and down in the description below. But until next time, fellow Blues fans, stay true to the Royal Blue and keep right on.
Keep right on.